Welcome back to the Padilla family homestead. We are up to all kinds of shenanigans out here. Wave, Junior.
Wave.
This is my friend Sharon. This is who we're staying with. So even though this is the Padilla family homestead channel, we are at her house. And this is where we'll be for the foreseeable future at this point. Okay, so we are out here and building our garden beds. They have had, ignore my husband in the background. They have had a garden in the past that they tried to put up, but it was outside the yard, and there was deer issues and then leach field issues. So this is a brand new garden, right? Okay.
More or less.
So we're starting from scratch here. We have got these castle builder pavers. It's like Lincoln logs for adults. It's kind of cool. And 2x6 wood boards. This year we're just using untreated pine, and then in the future our goal is to do the burn treatment. Possibly.
Or go cedar.
Or cedar.
I lean towards cedar.
Okay, so we're going to do something else. We know these are not going to last like a super long time, but they'll last us our season and hopefully through the winter.
Should last a couple seasons.
Hopefully. So we're going to show you how we're building these, and then what we're doing to cultivate. We're using our mussels and to cultivate the ground, and we're going to add soil on top. I'm going to take you over and we're going to build a bed first, and then
when you say mussels, you need to pan over to Junior because he did most of that bed. Junior,
he did half. He did half. He uses he uses his shoulder muscles, not his stomach muscles, and I use all stomach to make the thing turn. And it's kind of funny, like the difference in how we use it, because I have no arm muscles.
And I try to use all of it because I need all of it. Really.
So we're going to take you over and we're going to add on to the end of this bed, these two beds where she's standing.
Get out of the hole.
I know, I fell in that hole. So we're going to add in 4-foot sections right here to the end. And so we'll take you along, show you how we built this, how simple it is. And then as we go through and cultivate, we'll make sure the boards are even on the ground. Because like that bed has somewhere in here, I think, that is making it uneven and do a teeter-totter. So we'll be fixing that as we go. One on this side and one on that side.
I'm bringing all this stuff up. Sure.
Yeah, I can make.
Or silent
I
video.
can cut pieces out of it.
Okay.
This is like live content with all the chiefs at action.
But I love his Junior's voice.
We really got to figure out.
All right, ladies, let's see what you guys doing.
Oh,
Jenny, he's recording us. We should take this out and cultivate under it so the grass is not a nuisance, and then put it back in.
that works.
After we get the.
I agree with that comment.
Thank you. What, Jenny?
Oh, no, mine doesn't have to be. All right. So I want to show these really fast how this works.
Okay, I'm getting it.
All the way down.
I got it.
All right. So this right here, these blocks are amazing. They basically have 4 cutouts for a 2x board, and they're about 6 inches tall. So we're using 2x6 pieces of wood and sliding them in. So all we have to do, it is so simple. It really reminds me of playing Lincoln Logs when we were a kid. You hit my butt.
I did.
So place it in. Place your other end right here. And we will see where we line up here. And watch your shirt. There you go. So we have just added in a 4-foot 4x4 for this bed. It's really as simple as that. Now, if you wanted to, I don't know why, because the ones I thought I saw before, the holes went all the way through. So you could put rebar, but these don't look like they do. but you could, if you wanted to, do a double stack here. So you could double stack with the castle paper. You would want to do it on both sections, but that would allow your bed to be 12 feet tall.
You can add another one.
And then, yeah, you can keep adding however much you wanted to, whatever height you wanted, and then build from there. And if you had small sections of rebar, you could easily put this upside down and kind of Lincoln log it and put the rebar in the bottom one and the rebar in the top one and sandwich them together, and that rebar would help this from floating around. But we're not doing it this way, so I'm taking this off.
It's more for stability.
For finances this year, since we're starting from scratch, and we both put in quite a lot for plants because we couldn't start seeds because I wasn't out here and she didn't have the setup. I had the seeds in California. This works, and so for relatively inexpensive, boards are expensive, don't get me wrong, everything's expensive, but for less than buying bigger beds, this is what we can get. Now what we're doing, because again we are trying to be budget friendly, is we are putting in sweat equity, and this is not an easy thing to do. So this is what the ground looked like. This is what the ground looked like.
You can see the line.
And we turn it into that. So the chickens are having fun coming through. I'll put in a clip right here of them coming through, enjoying eating bugs that we have turned up. Unfortunately, they're eating some of the earthworms, but they are also eating grubs. So basically what we're doing is using this, I didn't even take the label off. It's a soil ripper garden tiller. It happens to be Corona brand. And you take this, and hopefully this isn't a killer one to do, and you push it in, and then you use your arms or your stomach or everything, and you are turning it, and it tosses this up. Now that allows us to come through, take the grass out as much as we can, shake it off. That's kind of what we have over here. We have been shaking off primarily the dirt.
Ryan says hi.
And letting this, we're going to give this to the chickens and let them eat through that. But we are just going through, and this makes this soil light and fluffy, and it makes it super easy to turn now if we need to do more. So when we go to add, they got soil last year that ended up not being used, and so it's been in a pile. Hopefully it's stake free. It's kind of our fear right now, is that it has stakes. But we're going to add some of that soil to the top of this, and then we can take that with some of the amendments we got. I got worm castings and something else, and we're going to add that in to these beds. And when we put that topsoil, that soil in here with this, we can easily take this then and just mix it, just like you would anything in the kitchen, right? You can mix it in and make sure everything's kind of spread throughout, so things aren't getting big pockets of nutrients and some are getting nothing. So that is what we are working on. Ooh, we got some cloud coverage now. That makes me happy. But that's how we're building the beds, and our plan right now. We'll be updating you as we continue through the process. Today our goal was to get the beds laid out and to cultivate as much as we can, but we have to do that in phases, and we're going to go take a break for lunch pretty soon. Okay. So that way we can get, hopefully by tomorrow or Monday, start getting some stuff in the soil, because we have rain coming again next week. So the other thing we're trying to do is to take into consideration the sun. And so We have north, south, east, west. So the sun is going to be rising over here and setting over there. So that is allowing nothing being blocked this direction and none of the trees blocking it this direction. We have a pretty clear view here, and so we're going to have better sun exposure. This front area is going to have more sun exposure than even this, but when we set up our trellises, we're going to be setting up our trellises in a row right here with stuff growing on them, and then setting up, so those are going to be arch trellises. And then over here, and probably over here on the ends, on the second 8-foot section, we're going to be doing T-post trellises for tomatoes and shorter vining things. There's some cucumbers that have shorter vines that we'll be doing over here. So we're trying to take into consideration all of those things. But I'm going to stop yapping, and I am going to go have lunch and then come back out here and keep cultivating, because it is 100% worth it. But I need to eat first. I need some good fuel. So we'll be back shortly, and I'll set you up on a time lapse so you can kind of see what we're doing when we come back, so you get the visual. And then in a different video, I will show us adding the soil and doing all the things. I will say, doing the hand tilling here was hysterical with the chickens. They knew that every time I turned up the soil, or Sharon or my husband turned up the soil, that there were going to be worms and other bugs coming up. And you're going to see here where I just give in, because they come all around me and I really can't till with them there. So it was rather funny working with the chickens out, but it was also a memorable experience. Okay, so we were able to get, at the end of yesterday, a electric little rototiller. So we are hooking that up this morning, and Sharon is going to give that a whirl. Apparently the first extension cord she tried wasn't super long. It wasn't long enough. So we're doing another setup and then getting in there and trying this. So, left you with the beds being built. We had been doing hand tilling in this one. She was able to borrow an electric tiller for the remainder. And oh, what a difference that made. Oh my gosh. Your arms were still jiggly.
My muscles were sore because they weren't used to it.
I couldn't do the vibration of the electric one with my neck. So she ended up doing all of that.
Well, I didn't really feel it until the end. Then my hands felt tingly.
So we got that done, and now what we're doing, which I will turn you around again. So they have a lawnmower that they just got recently. Yay, excited about that. Yeah. And we have a gorilla cart hooked up to the end of it, and you just have it trailered in with a pin.
Yep.
Right?
Right there.
Okay. And so she has a pile of soil way over there, which we'll bring her over there and show you. And we're shoveling it into here. This is soil from last year that wasn't used.
Correct. It's a mix, a garden mix I had delivered.
Correct. So we are going to add it to the tilled bed, which is, even though the boards are only 6 inches deep, it's tilled another 6 inches. So we have about 12 inches of turned looser soil. And then the chickens came in here and they had a ton of fun. So at this point, what we're doing is just dumping. We're taking off the edge, bringing the cart in and dumping soil to make our lives a little bit easier. Then we will spread it out. And check it out, guys. I got new boots today. So now,
looking cute.
Now I'm going to have less ticks and less snake issues. Even though I hadn't had any ticks or snake issues. No, but we were going into
this part of it.
Yes. So, got work boots. We're happy. We're going to get started. I'm not going to show dumping this one, but I am going to have my husband come out and record us doing some of this.
1, 2, 3.
So this is the dirt pile that we are working out of that's been covered. And we did want to point out, we know full well that that pin is upside down. We're just taking it on and off over and over again. So we're doing it upside down right now, but it will not stay that way.
Yeah, mine's harder over here. Yeah, because I took the top.
Okay, it is the next day since we were filling the beds. We did 19 loads in that gorilla cart yesterday. Today we did 2, 3, 4, I want to say 9 loads, 9 or 10 loads today, and the beds are full, and we started planting. So I'm going to flip the camera around and show you this because the storm is going to roll in. Things really needed to be watered, so we went ahead and planted some seeds, and we planted some of the plants. And we're crossing our fingers on a few of these things. So we're crossing our finger on a few of these things. I may end up putting tomato cages on the tomatoes. That's not what's going on them, but I'm a little worried they might break. We'll see. They're doing okay right now. So I'm gonna flip the camera around. Okay, so this is bed 1, 2, 3, and 4. So over here we have some sweet peppers and the it's a creeping rosemary that's edible. This right here is going to be watermelon, but I got to do a trellis, so I'm not putting those seeds in yet. I need to make sure what I'm doing. Plus, it's getting late and it's going to start pouring. So, I'm not doing that yet. Right here are our tomatoes. These are going to be doing the Florida weave. And that one's getting a tomato cage. It's aroma. We have our agastache and our parsleys. I just have a yarrow sitting there to help deter deer. Brussels sprouts, which I think it's way too late for, but we're gonna see. Some oregano, basil, sage. Pineapple sage really needs water. That's our lemon verbena. Down there, right here, I have okra planted, and then I have some yarrow and sweet alyssum here. This will end up being a trellis, so nothing's planted here yet. That half of the bed all the way down are different bush beans, so that's completely planted out about 4 inches apart. 4 inches apart this way are the rows, and then 4 inches apart this way. In here I have some lavender, lemon thyme, another lavender. Our hot peppers are over here. Our echinacea. I went ahead and planted the daikon radish seeds and the summer squash seeds in this bed. And I already said sweet peppers over there. Let's walk over here. So we're not planting this bed yet. I'm worried that the seeds are going to get washed away because they're smaller and closer to the surface. So this is going to be root vegetables and greens, so I'll be doing that later. Someone gave us, again, I just have these sitting here for now. Somebody gave us some walking onions, so I went ahead and planted them in here. And I have some sweet alyssum, yarrow, another sweet alyssum in the corner, and then our tomatillos, one of which was broken. This bed over here has our asparagus planted. The animals are still learning these are not litter boxes, so I didn't want them to dig up the asparagus. And we covered that. That was yesterday, so I just left that there. We did go ahead and plant the 4 sweet potato slips that somebody gave us, and we'll see if we're going to get other sweet potato slips or not from ours. And then this bed is planted with potatoes. So there are purple potatoes here, a red potato, I think a yellow potato from the kitchen, and another red potato from the kitchen. So these 2 were seed potatoes from a store. These 2 were kitchen tomatoes. And then that was the sweet potatoes we were given. So we have a whole lot planted out. We still have a whole lot to do. Momo, you better get out of there. And it's going to start downpouring and lightning here pretty soon. So I'm going to go ahead and get inside the house. So I'm going to get ready to go inside. I'm very thankful that we had to break in the rain so we can plant, but I'm also very thankful that the rain is coming back because I'm very tired and my body needs a break. We have a lot of rain upcoming on the forecast, so I'll do what I can in recording out here, but I may end up with some kitchen videos coming up soon. We'll see, but we are back on the video realm. I have a lot of videos to edit on my phone currently. And I'm excited. I'm happy to have my hands in the soil and this done, even though it's back-breaking work. It is very rewarding and it feels wonderful. So, super happy. I'm gonna go take a shower and put on my jammies and sort through paperwork because that's the next thing I have to do today. We will see you guys on the next video.